Hey everybody, it's Amanda here with Pain to Purpose Coaching again, and today's video is a reshoot of one that I did, a couple of weeks ago on frequency. I thought it was important to redo this and talk to you all about it because we are unaware around the frequencies in which we are around all the time and how they affect us, and because we don't always see it, or we don't always know how many are coming at us at once, or any of that, or going in us for that matter. I just wanted to, we absorb all this stuff all day long, and then we just go on along like everything's okay, but it's not okay. And then sooner or later we figure out, from a symptom or from something happening that it wasn't okay, So I just like to bring a little bit of awareness to frequency and what we can do and how frequencies work. And I don't know, maybe we can all just get along, But I wanted to start off with, a lot of the times, like just a little bit of the history. So a lot of the times, we forget about how the ancient world did things, or the old time world used to do things, and where some of our traditions and our customs come from if we don't go back and take a look at them, or if we're not mindful of them. We just go around doing things sometimes, and we don't realize why we do it or why it's a thing, right? So as far as frequency goes, this is just some of the studying that I've done and how I've put it together. But one of the things I wanted to mention is all of us blessing our food. We have blessed our food for centuries, and for thousands of years we've blessed our food, and food has been a really powerful, almost, I don't want to say metaphor, maybe a symbolic kind of thing that, has a lot of wealth and power and or energy and frequency tied to it. And I think nowadays people, or in my generation, when we were growing up, you just ate whatever you wanted to. You ate for enjoyment most of the time, and what tasted good and what you liked. And when we eat like that, we forget about frequency, and sooner or later we have health issues, or even money issues from buying and eating the wrong things too often, or it just affects us in different ways that we forget about sometimes. And what it can do to our health. We have health problems, from eating the wrong things and taking in those same frequencies all the time, and we don't give any recognition, or it gets buried, after a while of living like that. So I just want to kind of, here we are in smack dab in the holiday season, and the first of the year is time is flying. It seems like it's going to be here in a week, is New Year's already. You don't have to wait for January to make a New Year's resolution. You can make one today and start doing things differently. And I know that when I posted about this, it spoke to a lot of people, as far as food and how to eat and things like that. I'm not a certified dietitian. I am not a health guru, but I've studied this my entire life. I know I could tell you the calories that are in just about any food. I know how it breaks down in the body. I know the energy it gives you, the frequency. I know where the plant came from. Like, I studied all of this stuff, and I'm just a walking encyclopedia, I guess, of things that people don't really, use a lot, I guess. I don't know, but I think it's pretty damn useful. But if we can, a lot of people have a hard time losing weight, or they have a hard time to eat right and be disciplined. I think if you start thinking of it in different ways, as far as frequency and fuel and energy and things like that. I've never counted calories, but I've looked at grams of fat, salt, grease, carbohydrates, sugars, all of those things, because those are the things that actually, toxify the body, if we aren't careful with them. And then, there's different types of ways to eat healthier. Hey, only eat things that have ingredients that you can pronounce, or eat things that don't have ingredients listed on them, just fresh grown foods and things. But there's a variety of different ways to do it. But I think that especially if you're an energy coach, I think that or if you've got blood sugar issues like I have, If you've had, diabetes in the past, I used to have it. I've reversed all that now. But if you pay attention to the fuel aspects and the frequency and the energy, and if you've got to maintain a smooth level of energy instead of spiking up and down, then this is going to appeal for you. This is going to appeal to you, and it's going to make a huge difference in the way that you go around eating and things like that. And it can maybe even reverse some of your health conditions, or make them better, improve them, and you can lose weight, you can have more energy and feel better. So eating in, well, before I start with what things I was going to mention to eat, or I want to start with, maybe mentioning how people used to say prayers over their food. Now, I kind of got away from that a minute ago, but how we actually have prayed over our food is to cast us, words are spells, and used to, the ancient languages had so much power to them that you could speak into existence things. And English language is the weakest frequency language that there is, and that's by design. Actually, that's on purpose. There's a reason why everybody is speaking English now. All over. People, just about everybody knows a few words of English, and that's on purpose, just so you know that. And so using a low frequency language is taking our power away from us and things like that, and to where we can't speak into existence or speak spells. We can't cast spells. And even some people believe, I'm just putting this out there, I'm not saying it is or not, but many people believe that prayer is spell casting, particularly if it's to change an outcome or alter an outcome. You're asking the assistance of a deity to come in and change that, and a lot of people think that that's a form of casting spells. And not to say if there's anything wrong with it or right with it, but a lot of people think that way in certain parts of the world, and that's okay. But it is, in fact, can alter things, and words do have power, that's for certain. They have frequencies and energy and vibrations that come along with them. And cymatics is a huge study, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But so praying over your food, saying a blessing over your food, can actually alter the food. They did studies years ago. I can't remember. I think it was on the West Coast, one of the big schools out there. They conducted some studies on this, and they were able to measure the energy that it was giving off. I think they started with water and plants and things like that, talking to them, and how, or snow, ice crystals, and just different things like that. And they were talking to them, or put sound and frequency towards those that were different, and it altered the shape of it. Okay, and that's where we're kind of going with this. So if you can do that with plants or anything else that is alive or living, then you can definitely do it with your food, whether it's cooked or not. But raw food, again, does have a very different frequency than cooked food. But it's all about your human body and how your human body absorbs things, and the absorption rates, and what's easier to break down, and what's easier for your body to, what takes less energy to digest, and things like that. So I just think it's fascinating. I love this topic. I could talk about it forever. So to the point, praying over your food, you can take, but the study they took a McDonald's hamburger, something that wasn't very healthy to eat, per se, and did different prayers in different languages over it. And, we're able to look at it, with whatever they were observing it through, and saw it change. The matter of the hamburger changed, with what frequency it was exposed to. So, guys, apparently there is a way to turn junk food into healthier food. Now, that's not something you want to start eating all the time. I'm not going to recommend that. But it can change things. So, if there are times that you can't eat as healthy as you want to, I think that it's an excellent idea to say, or cast blessing, cast a different frequency out at your food, at your water, particularly because they did measure this with water, and it turns out that blessing the waters works. Lake Titicaca is blessed. I know that I used to work for an insurance company, that when you got to a certain level of the insurance company, they would give you an ink pen, a really nice, fancy, ink pen, that the tip of it, it was back when I did union benefits, I think it was AIL. So huge company, a sister company to Liberty National, actually. And so they would give us a pen once we got to a certain level, give us a pen that had been dipped. The tip of it had been dipped in Lake Titicaca and blessed. And if you're a history buff, then you know about that lake being blessed and having gold and all of that stuff, and what it was used for, and just it's a very, very energetic place. And so they borrow and bless the pens with that energy, and may you write lots of business after that, I guess. It's kind of the point, to dip the pen in it. But these things affect us. And so I think it's fascinating. We can cast a frequency over our food and make it healthier and more nourishable for your body. I think that it takes a great belief and your own energy to start doing that, but after you practice that for a while, that things are going to work and it's just going to happen. So it's going to take a little practice, probably, if you're not used to blessing your food and being remembering to do it. But I do know that it's easily affects water and plants and things like that. So that's one thing about frequency. And I mentioned cymatics. They've done this, what in metaphysical studies and in physics, and I'm a quantum energy coach, so these are things that I study a lot and pay attention to and look at. So what they have said is that, and what all of us in the physics community kind of believes, is that, and it's been proven, that we are ourselves just walking, talking matter that has been, we are the outcome of what frequency and what vibration and light and sound mixed together. This is the expression of that. Your frequency looks like you, my frequency looks like me and sounds like me, and all of that. So each person has their own little frequency signature, because I'm just fascinated with that everything in the universe is energy, and how important it is, and that we can co-create these things. We've been told since way before the Bible, but yes, the Bible does kind of corroborate where I'm going with this, is that we live in a created existence. And if we live in a created existence, then we are co-creators. So it just goes with the territory. So Dr. Joe Dispenza does meditations where he talks about how doing mindful meditations and rewiring your brain can actually, if you focus the energy in the right parts of your cells and your body, that you can actually change physically the look and feel of your body just with your mind by doing the meditations. And he's done studies, that actually prove this. I don't know what all the science is on it exactly, what tests they've done, but we already have seen with cymatics that, light and sound and energy and all that affects matter. So that's an interesting thing that I think, to keep in mind, is that, instead of going to the gym all the time, you can sit in deep meditation and, alter your muscles and alter your cells and tell them to get better. And I myself do energy work with some of my clients that are not well. They're ill. They've got some health conditions and things going on. We do clearings and the parts of the chakras, and I'm not a Reiki practitioner, but I love it. I love it. I wish I had studied. I did not take a course in Reiki, but there's Qigong, there's chakra energy, there's all of these things are related. And acupuncture, you have the different meridians of the body and all of that. I've always been fascinated with that kind of medicine. And it works. It just works because it's the laws of the universe that they're working with, So I would put that over, it's just my personal opinion, but I would put that over modern, taking pills and new theories around stuff, more than anything. I've experienced the healing aspects of, different types of Eastern medicine and these things that I'm talking to you about. I've changed my own outcomes health-wise from that, so I highly recommend. But going along with those things, it's fascinating to me that we can, if we're mindful and if we're willing to do the work and sit in quiet and tap into, the quantum universe, that, I can go inside my body and tell all of my cells to behave a certain way, and they have no choice but to listen to me because this controls everything, right? And what we know about disease, I say dis-ease, is that, even people who, if they've been one way their entire life and they were that way and they kept it to themselves and they were around other people that told them not to be that way and they just stowed it and stuffed it, dark cells start to turn on themselves. So even the cells in your body authentically know who and what they want to do and be. If you go against that all the time, you have dis-ease and discourse, and that's what causes disease. That's what causes mutation of cells. And I think that's really important to keep in mind, especially if you have, that's why, I'll just say it, that's why it's important to do your work around your anger and your resentments and, really living authentically, because trying to tell your body that it's not what it is, or trying to tell your soul that it's not what it is, or your personality that it's not what it is, or your thoughts that it's not what it is, or whatever, trying to tell yourself to be something other than you are is going to make you sick. And that's just the long and short of it. I believe that. And we've seen it. So I think that people who are ill, that, the somatic, mental, emotional, brain issues and things like that, things that we think and feel and see and experience, all of that impacts us and we forget. But I think that it's tied into a lot of frequencies as well. So I wanted to mention that eating along with the seasons is another big one. Right now we're in the fall. It's not yet it's not winter season technically yet. And, eating things that are in season, things that go along with nature, that are not, I'm not going to, if a turnip grows in the fall, I'm going to, it's not natural, and it goes against its nature to be, in the summer, everywhere and plentiful. So I mean, yes, isn't it wonderful that we live in a world where we can have stuff year round, but is it wise? Is it the best thing for our bodies? Is it nurturing our frequencies? I don't think it is, but that's up for you. That's for you to judge. It's not for me to tell you. I'm just giving you the info here. So I made this little, just this here. I'll just read it to you. But fall foods that you could eat right now that will, boost your vibration and boost your frequency are things that are in season. And it's dates, fresh or dried, mustard or turnip or collard greens. Now listen, y'all all know everybody loves bread, but bread don't love everybody. And you can wrap sandwiches. It takes a little getting used to, but you can get like turnip greens and things like that, or collard greens. And you can use those, just prep them a little, and you can use those to wrap up and have a sandwich. You don't always have to get flour and eat gluten. I mean, it's gluten. And then when it gets in your stomach, it eats your gut biome, and destroys it. I mean, we know this. And if you do that every day, every meal, what are you doing to your body? It's no wonder we all get sick and don't feel good. And, low energy and everything. We're shredding our guts apart with this stuff all the time. So, a few times a week, instead of getting bread or something made with flour, get a turnip green, a collard green, and do a wrap or something with it. Change things up. Do lettuce wraps for dinner instead of fajitas. Just change it up a little bit. I think that we're smart enough to do this. Cilantro, green bananas, as green as you can get them, are one of the most healthiest things that you can eat, especially if you struggle with magnesium and things like that. Deficiencies with magnesium. Fresh jackfruit. Jackfruit can be turned into you can use it like a taco meat and things like that, almost like a ground beef. You can make tacos, chili, all kinds of stuff. Mome fruit. I don't know what a mome fruit is. I just grabbed this and thought it looked cool. If you know what mome fruit is, then great, get some and eat it. All berries, any berries, doesn't matter. They've got such great antioxidants and things in them, but their frequencies stand out to us. Berries are beautiful. They used to be used as dyes. They're really potent, powerful little things. Their extracts are really powerful. So I think, if you want to be more powerful, eat the berries, instead of the potato chips. Drop some in your yogurt in the morning, or your smoothies or whatever, put some on your salads. I love it. I love fruit on salad. I know that's strange, but even a savory salad, I'll put cranberries and stuff like that on it. Root vegetables. You can roast them, you can whip them, you can shred them, you can dice them, you can saute them, you can boil them, you can do whatever, steam them, whatever you want. Root vegetables are great. They have good frequencies with them. Power colors, power nutrients and all that in root vegetables. It comes from the earth, smells like dirt, and it's got these wonderful, deep, dark flavors. Beets. I can't say enough about beets, y'all. I loved, when I was a kid, my dad made me eat one and I nearly gagged and I started crying when he put it in my mouth and he got mad at me. But I love beets now, Dad, wherever you are. I love beets. They're wonderful. Beet juice with ginger and things like that. So good. So there's pears, there's pumpkin, pomegranate, papaya, there's plantains. You can do a lot with plantains, more than what you think. Passion fruit. Parsley, chewing on some parsley, purple potatoes, parsnips, persimmons, purple cabbage, pistachios. Pistachios are so good, crusted on chicken with a little Dijon mustard, so good. Plums, fall foods, right? Eating things that are in season. We got elderberry, hibiscus, vitamin D3, vitamin B complex, magnesium glycinate, cayenne pepper, organic raw coconut oil, quercetin, barley grass, spirulina, and chlorella. These are words you need to learn. I'm telling you, some good stuff here for your body. Something else, what I was going to mention is, a lot of people have parasites and they don't realize it. And when your frequency gets lowered by some of the things that we eat, of course, we start to pick up parasites. Parasites have come with an energy all of their own. And I know, y'all, a lot of people that don't know, haven't opened their third eye or looked into any of this stuff think that I'm a nut right now. But these things have energy, okay? People that have parasitic infections have all kinds of disruptions in their spiritual body as well. And they can be a really big booger to deal with. So if you can do parasitic cleanses often, I highly suggest that. But symptoms of parasites actually are low energy, depression, anger, negative thinking, cancer, virus, colds, flu allergies, loss of appetite, loss of taste and smell, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, menstrual problems, vaginal infections, sexual dysfunction, over or underweight, drooling while sleeping, itchy ears, nose, anus, and the body. Candida, man, can get everywhere. We have it. I used to work at with some elderly people, taking care of them and everything, and man, the yeast growth was just insane. And so, you know, it can get to a parasitic level, because the yeast is a living organism, right? So you can get it in your ears when your ears just itch and all that stuff. It's insane. So itchy ears, anus and body, grinding teeth, gas and bloating, chronic fatigue syndrome, pain in your joints, insomnia, bipolar disorder, food and drug cravings, rash and pimples, things floating in your eyes, epilepsy, liver, kidney, spleen problems, chronic hunger, unclear vision, and mental imbalances. So these little things are living in your body, right? They've got their own frequency and their own agenda going against yours all the time. It's like literally telling your body to be and do something other than what it is, right? It's like they're putting their agenda on you. They release toxins that kind of affect you. So I think that's why a lot of people mention the issues about depression and things like that. So another thing is to have sinus issues. Now I'm going to mention this one. It's pretty gross. I'm sorry, but I have to say something about it. If people in your family have parasites, or if you're doing housework for people and somebody's got parasites, you're washing their laundry, hold your breath or wear a mask when you're doing the loading in and the sorting and all that, folks, because you can actually, these things will be dried on their clothes and you can breathe them, you know, when you're pulling up the dirty towels and stuff and putting it in the machine, you can actually breathe those little dried boogers up in there and they can reactivate. And that can be with yeast. I mean, it's disgusting, right? It's really gross. But a lot of people don't realize that they've got sinus issues. And you've heard, if you ever seen Dr. Oz, he talks about this being the triangle of death. It's close to your brain. It's your sinus cavities and all of that. And if you're breathing these little things up in there, they can get in your head and they can cause problems with your brain, okay? This is serious. So parasitic cleanses is good for your frequency and your energy, and keeping those guys out of there so you can own your own domain, so to speak. I'm almost at like 27 minutes here, so I know this is a long one, but I just wanted people to be aware of these things. And the last but not least is frequencies from music and media and things in your environment. If you think about it this way, if you're sitting at a restaurant and they're playing headbanger music, or they're playing something that bothers you, it gets on your nerves, maybe it's not your favorite, or it's just too active and you're sitting here trying to eat your meal and enjoy it, and you've got all this racket in the background and everything, it makes it really hard. That frequency is literally getting on your nerves and irritating you, and you're just taking it in, you know, and we don't think about how this stuff affects us, you know. We have to think about these things. What are you eating? What are you listening to that is affecting your behavior? What words? They design, I'm just saying, I'm not afraid to say it. They design these things, the people that are in control of all that stuff, they design these things for a particular reason and a particular outcome. They want that frequency in people, and it alters their behavior. I mean, think about it. Music, certain tones, certain beats, certain words, all of these things affect your behavior. These people get crunk in the church when they start to it's crazy music, and these tones, ding, 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 and it's just like pounding it into you, and the next thing you know, you're up jumping around and all of that. It affects us. And if you're listening to certain types of music that are negative, they're saying negative things, they're doing, but yeah, man, but the beat is so good, I just love the beat, man, I just love that flow. Well, you're contaminating your frequency listening to that stuff. It's not healthy. That's why Andre 3000 came out with a new album that is like this fluty toot music, and it's good, it's relaxing, it's nice, it's positive. He doesn't want to put out trash anymore, and stuff. And I think it sounds good, A lot of people listen to it and they're like, but it's good, and it's got a lot of good feedback, because people who are doing the spiritual work, who are eating and wanting to be high vibe and high frequency people and change the vibe of this planet, that we are a part of enjoy high vibe stuff. They gravitate towards it and their tastes change. Listen, I grew up, I love rap music, I do, but I can't listen to it unless I want to accomplish certain things. It'll help me get the house clean real quick, and I use it as a tool. I enjoy it. I know it's somebody's stuff that they put out, but from what I understand, people who are in contract are not putting out what they want to put out. They ain't even allowed to sing or rap or talk about stuff that they want to talk about. The music executives are telling them, no, here's your lyrics. Who is it that's really Megan Thee Stallion? That she is so talented. She is so talented, but they don't let her do her own music. She's allowed to have her ound self in the music, but she's not allowed to create what she wants to rap about and talk about. They got her talking about just disgusting stuff and make somebody throw up, just nasty stuff. And they push it on us and want to tell us that's good and it sells and everything. But that's because people are getting brainwashed with these frequencies. They're getting brainwashed. You are getting brainwashed. So please be mindful and careful about, and let's do a detox. Be more mindful about some of the stuff you're listening to and getting altered by and subjected to, what frequencies you allow yourself to take in, things in the media, all of that. Don't listen to all that stuff. Let's get back to having our own frequency, which is inherently good. It's inherently wanting to be positive, wanting to be better and more. So let's get back to that. You can do it with your food. You can do it with who and what you're around and what you take in. You can do it with blessing your food and changing the frequency, blessing your water before you drink it. Even I drink out of a copper bottle because of that, because it changes the frequency of the water and gives it, there's actually a little wand, I forget what it's called, but a little wand that you can put in your water, and it completely energizes and ionizes your water to the perfect thing. I can't remember the name of it, but I can mention it in another video. Anyway, just some things to think about, going forward. If you're wanting to be better, start now. Start today. And so, as always, I love you guys. If you are looking to do some sessions, I know times are hard right now. I've discounted a bunch of sessions right now to 90 minutes for $50. You can't get that anywhere. You can't get it anywhere except for right here. I'm doing 90 minutes for $50. I usually charge way more for that, but I want to help people that normally wouldn't be able to get it. And so if you're a veteran, that's $30 for you if you're a service member. But usually it's just an hour and you're getting 90 minutes, and we can do some sessions around some things, and you can ask me questions, I can ask you questions, we can figure some things out for you and change something and lighten your load. Let's do some things. Everybody's got work to do. Nobody's perfect. And there's things eating at you. I know there is. And maybe you don't even see it. Maybe things are going bad for you and you're just like, I don't know why. Well, go ahead and message me and we'll figure it out together. That's what clarity sessions are for. I do a free clarity session, and you do have to pay in advance. It's not I see you, then you pay, because in a tight schedule, I need people that show up. I need people that are going to do what they say they're going to do. And I don't fool too much with people if they, I'm not about people changing last minute and stuff like that. I give everybody a couple of them for, emergencies, because I've had to do it before too. But, if you're going to make the appointment, show up, and that's why we prepay. So, and there's, if you miss the session, I can owe you one, but don't schedule and then don't show up. Especially if it's the clarity session and it's free. That time can go to somebody else and help somebody else and be useful for somebody else. So don't rob them from that. So that's all I ask. But anyway, I hope you like my video and it helps the algorithm. And I hope that you learned something today and some of this resonated with you. As always, I love you. Send me a message if you're interested in coaching, and I'll see you soon.